King woke to himself, rolling down a hill. He'd been by his wagon, but now there was a hill under his wagon. At the bottom of this decline, he bumped into Lester. Raven sat on Earl's neck, eyes wide, pupils wildly dilated. "What's happening, Raven?" "Caw! Is that you, Wing? They're gathering power. Can you feel it? They are pulling the raw muscle of gravity in around this spot. It's good you keep these guys moving. They're with their kin, and they are really happy. The Earth is going to fold in on itself right here soon, too. Can you feel it? You've been into the coal hole stuff. Crap, really? You don't see the horizon getting higher, right?" Raven had a point, so he separated the bright-eyed beasts and put Raven in the wagon out of the sun. "I think I'll land now," descended out of him. A hopeless start to explaining that he had not been flying was quickly abandoned. Maybe it would be more worthwhile to try to do later. Everyone gathered to look at the changes the creatures had caused in the landscape. Bill suggested that they had better limit their visits to a few hours a day. That made a lot of sense. They watched the four friends walk together. The resemblance of Lester and Earl to the temperament of the oxen was clear, but what it was they possessed that allowed them to concentrate energy, no one could guess. Then some more days were spent being a family member. Hammers and nails, levers and lifting, plowing and pulverizing rocks to pebbles for aggregate. Molly and Lil figured out that the big guys could be together a little more often if you didn't let them touch their noses. All were willing to accept this because they found it impossible to keep the pals apart. They would be separated, then found together again. Never doors left open, no latches broken, no walls knocked down. Raven had sobered up, but could not or would not offer any explanation if he knew he was being loyal to his friends on the hoof over people. Everyone respected that and did not press him for information. Kate was beginning to think that Hank had been letting him out, but Hank was preoccupied with other matters. Everyone was pleased by the way he handled the question. He asked if we thought it reflected a lot of personal growth on his part, and Kate hugged him. Of course, it didn't hurt that Hank had recently saved Sam from a poisonous snake that had floated down in the stream to where the kids swam. He did it without hurting the snake, too. No one had anything against it or felt it wanted to strike, but it was clear that Hank would have sacrificed the slithering serpent for Sam. It was just one of those unfortunate timing things. Right place, wrong time, but still, he'd have been a hatband before he'd gotten the boy. Hank actually trembled as the incident was recounted. Turned out that Hoovers are terrified of even small snakes. This made the Hoover more than a hired hand. It made him a hero. He took his newfound self, his braver Hoover self, to Emma and confided that he had sinned in his motherboard, looked at another with desire. Lucky he kept the little pulsating surges of promiscuity confined to his power pack because it was Lester that was looking good to him. Might be a few dings, dinks, dents in the old mainframe now, but if he'd come up behind Lester at present arms, there would only have been stomped remnants to examine. Emma accepted the news placidly. Kate suggested Emma needed some time alone. After that time given, Hank found her waiting for him in his stall. The affair would never be repeated or spoken of again. "Yeah, honesty is always best," Wing testified. His comment, given his nature, did not warrant a reply, and no words fell out of the gaping hole in everyone's expression, even though the containers they were attached to tipped back and forth as if trying to spill something out. Came a morning, and Kate saw Wing standing on his wagon, sunrise on his back, watching his long shadow grow shorter, disappear as the distance lit up. Not one to get up early. Must have been there all night. Quietly reflective all day, but round the evening campfire, Kate described dreams she'd been having about an old man who had come to visit her grandmother when her grandmother was a child. So much leftover war at that time for everyone to worry about. Every face but his scrunched and scared. Even the grandfathers called him Grampa. Gifts to hold he did have for everyone, and that's what a generous man he was. But hope was his greatest offering. The flames flickered flashes on her till she turned square, spoke through the dark like she was seeing something darkness couldn't hide. "Please, tell my children what you told Grandma back then." There was no heart that could resist this full, fire-lit face. Bill squirmed to the ground and hugged in close with his children and sat there still like they sat, eyes full and wondering. No worries, said like he was comforting a child, sitting stiffly, tilted back a bit with his arms out, palms up. The breeze moved the limbs of the trees, and the man slowly, gently twisting their trunks. It looked like he was treading water. There once was a traveling circus, and its big wheels rolled around and around as along it went. It traveled on for many a mile and many a year, only pausing long enough to gather an audience inside of its a circus time. All the circus crowd worked hard to put on a show that made the people happy about the money they spent. Now they knew he was riding a short unicycle and juggling. No one cared that the stars disappeared and a little sprinkle started. The fire spat in firefly sparks and spoke in snaps. Then one rainy night on a muddy slick curve, all of the circus wagons had an accident. The river was stronger than the strong man, faster than the fastest ponies had a full sprint. When the flood was all over, everyone could see what happened to the wagons and the barrels the elephants had rolled, but no one knew where all of the people and the animals went. A shrug and an I don't know look, no good asking this guy. So with a point, he asked them, and they looked around, no good, they didn't know either. The big cat cages were all broken open, the bars and the monkey house bent. People moved away and looked cautiously in the tall grass as they nervously stared at the shattered snake house glass. Distracting, sucked in, eek! From Hank, got teasing, sniggity, sliggity tongue, flick, flick, flicks from the kids. There was no way to put it all back together. No way to recover the past. The circus family was scattered far and wide, from the ringmaster to the worker that was hired last. No addresses were exchanged. No hugs did they get to give or get. They never got a chance to say goodbye, as one and all each picked a direction and headed toward it. The man was a broken compass, could only point west. But the down front crowd took it so seriously, and their eyes chased his pointing finger, seeking a sight. Some of the people to the city, and others to Hollywood. They could entertain and they could sell, so most of them got on very, very well. Many of the bears went north to the places where the winter is long and deep. No more shows for them. Now they forge on through the summer as they roam, and in the wintertime they sleep. The children copied the way he laid the side of his face on the back side of one of his palm-to-palm hands. When Jumbo met John, they liked each other very much, and they formed a partnership. The man had a lot of goods and a store he wanted to sell, and Jumbo does the advertisement for it. Monkeys went to the mountainous woods of Montana, and cows to the open grasslands of Colorado. Neither one of these have found much to do, but the monkeys are a legend that only a few get to see, and the cows impress the herd over their wild circus stories. Imitating a cow telling a wild story is hard to tell from imitating a cow chewing its cud. The river that had seemed so bad now floated many to a new home that turned out to be the best they ever had. But no matter how good their new lives grew, they all missed their circus ways. Quick smack of the lips and a what can you do look. Well, now it's been years and years and years since that fateful day. But you know the creatures of the circus never ever really went away. Look carefully at every animal that you see, every person tall and wide, the talented, those who like to stand on the handlebars of their bikes so when they ride. All of these, they got the circus in their blood. It wasn't a good day for the troupe when the rain washed them away. Oh, but the world owes a lot to that flood. After the recitation and before the end was reacted to, Wing and Kate performed 2 authoritative nods and spoke in chorus. And that's the truth.